and they got out and they had Mass. Well, I can tell you, I never had trouble getting excited about Mass before, but boy, you know, I got to be pretty damn sick to miss Mass. When I hear that, people that, like I said, they didn't even have a priest, but they found the Catholics and they all wanted to say a Mass after getting beaten like that. But you know what? He spoke for an hour, and he talked about things that would just turn your stomach. And he never broke down until he said, nothing the Vietnamese did to me caused me as much pain as when I came back and saw the moral decay that had occurred in my country. Wow. And, you know, hearing that, you know, I thought I was patriotic and I loved this country, but when you hear somebody who's going through, I mean, he went from like 160 pounds to 110 pounds. He still doesn't have use of his arm because they broke it and they never set it right. But here's a guy who, you know, gave everything, and they came back, they were spat on, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. And when we think about it, 73 was bad, but look at us now. I mean, things are going on now that we never would have, you know, thought would have happened. But that, and my wife hearing it, we have never questioned, getting involved is not a nice thing to do, it's a moral obligation for us. Then I ran for Congress, and of course I became known as the nutjob pro-life candidate, didn't accept abortion even in rape and incest. And my campaign manager called me one night and he says, now his wife did a daycare at their home, and so this woman came over, and it had been in the paper, front page, Sullivan wouldn't even allow abortion for rape and incest, right? And there were 8 candidates, and I was the only one that, even the other pro-life guys were okay with rape and incest. So this guy calls me up, and I said, he was excited. I said, what happened? He says, well, this woman came, and all the kids were out playing. I'm sitting there having a beer on my porch, and this woman gets out of her car, and she says, Tony, you mean to tell me that if I got raped, your candidate wouldn't let me have an abortion? All these little kids are, you know, running around, and so, of course, Tony's like, gosh. And so he says, now, I know you're right, but explain it to me one more time. So I explained it to him. I said, you know, a human being's a human being, you know. We all could have been the result of a rape. And it says, thou shalt not kill. It doesn't say, thou shalt not kill unless it's rape, incest, handicapped, or whatever. There are no exceptions, you know. So about 2 days later, he calls me back and says, you're just not going to believe this. I said, what? He says, well, that woman came back the next day, and I explained to your stand. She left. She came back the next day and said she wanted a bumper sticker for you. I mean, talk about a miracle. I mean, this woman thought I was a Neanderthal because nobody had ever said, this is why I believe what I do, you know? And that made a believer out of him. Then I was in a debate, and